Welcome to the Doomsday Journal, your weekly report on the end of civilization as we know it, with your hosts, Mike Castro and Chris Kilo. If you don't want to burn in hellfire eternal, listen to
the Doomsday Journal. Doomsday Journal. Doomsday Journal. Doomsday Journal. Doomsday Journal. Doomsday Journal.
Good evening, good morning, wherever you are across the globe. Tonight, we'll be talking on Ukraine. We'll be touching on some important breaking news. I also want to apologize. We're not live today. I had to get away, get out in God's country and reconnect with God. It is March 15th, 2022. Today we're going to be discussing updates on the current Ukraine crisis, manufactured crisis by the globalist elites. We're coming to you from an undisclosed location in nature, God's country. Had to get away for a couple weeks. Just to mentally and for health reasons, I just needed to step away from everything, I can't sit here with all this information I have and just act like everything's okay. Sit here and we talk about this bullshit, but this is it, guys.
So, you guys just heard the theme song constructed by Fatty Eddie Strickler, the one-man band, who is autonomous at designing crazy songs. We're going to get Eddie on the phone, and he's going to give us his feedback on what's going on in the world. And again, we're from an undisclosed location because I feel like they're trying to shut us down. No joke.
Fatty Eddie, can I help you?
Eddie, you're live like a suicide.
How you doing, Eddie?
Oh my God, this must be the Doomsday Journal.
That's right.
Oh my God, what is going on in Doomsday Land today?
Well, the current crisis in Ukraine is driving the gas prices out the roof.
Prices? Gas prices?
Yeah, at $7 a gallon some locations.
Well, the mighty Bushwick Bill once said in his song, Fuck a War, he said, I'll lay one missile in Iraq and blow that little piece of shit off the map. Yeah, and I don't give a fuck who ISIS because I'm tired of paying these high-ass gas prices.
Yeah.
God's truth.
The Ukraine's a game. It's a Ukrainian game. And the gas prices are a game, too. And, I don't think that either one of them have anything to do with each other. I think it's just a convenient way for them to make some more money.
Yeah, and because Biden's found a very good scapegoat in this crisis because gas prices were going up from day one since he took office, and now because we cut 3% of our oil, which is all we get from Russia, he wants to. He can be like, oh, it's Putin's fault the gas prices are going up and not mine.
It went from $30 a barrel to $107 a barrel. It's the sum of many parts.
107 is now down from 110 on that.
Isn't that crazy?
A couple days ago.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Well, what I think is that we've entered the era of creating some kind of gigantic calamity so that we can blame everything on it, like COVID and then the Ukraine war. And pretty soon it'll be like, I don't know, frogs. There'll be like a frog pandemic like Moses laid on the Pharaoh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They'll be like, the frogs! The frogs are driving up gas prices and the frogs are making food scarce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw on the news.
Trade is off.
Funny you should mention that. I just saw on the news that there's these forecasters who are actually talking about these type of spiders that aren't normally from this top part of the world, and it's going to be look like it's raining spiders.
Oh yeah, baby.
In
they
USA.
Get little webs and they float on the static energy. I know they love Brazilian lakes, and some of them come from Russia too.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
But what it comes down to is as you know, I mean, the pandemic got blamed for everything from why they can't answer the phone at the unemployment office to why they had to de-staff and decentralize local government offices. Oh, the COVID, the pandemic. The pandemic. Now, you know,
Pandemic.
it's going to be the Ukrainian crisis. And don't you know, we're talking about Third World War, right? The minute they start talking about it, you guys know the power of words, right?
Yeah.
Right, so when you write a word, you spell it, right?
Yep. Spell.
The reason you spell it is because you're casting a spell
Yep.
when you write words and you say
Exactly.
words, as Fatty Eddie Wells knows. And so, you know, as soon as you start hearing Biden saying, well, we can't do that, that would be World War III.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
just getting you all diced and sliced and ready for the World War III to sit on top of your head.
And meanwhile, they're all in cahoots. This is all just a depopulation. You know, war's part of depopulating the planet.
Yeah, it's part of their plan all the way. I went to the, I don't know if you saw, I posted on Facebook, but when I went to Georgia earlier this year, I went out to the Flagstones.
I have not seen that. But I haven't been on Facebook for like a
You don't even
year.
know what the Georgia Flagstones are, do you?
I have no idea. I'm not going to lie.
I think I know what you're talking about. So it has you know, where they maintain the population.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the
I'll
guy.
make sure to send some pictures along for the Doomsday Journal.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well,
Yes.
you know, the fix is in, boys. That's what it comes down to. The fix is in, game on. The racket's happening, and the people that are going to suffer are the people that depend on the racket. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so one way to avoid high gas prices is stop fucking driving. Just
Right.
sit your ass down, smoke a joint, relax, and fucking don't worry about going to work tomorrow.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I do.
Because there might not be a tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And you will spend your last day on earth running around, waiting in line for $9 gallon gas so you can get your fucking scrawny ass to work so somebody can yell at you and tell you what a puke you are.
Yep.
Right.
And give you peanuts while doing it.
Oh, yeah, and give you nothing. In fact,
See.
they give you just enough to not even pay off your, you know, your APR on your credit card that went up to 22% because you got a late charge last month.
You see, the globalist elites, they're pissing on us and laughing at us and watching us die so they can consume more of the resources.
Pissing and laughing, dude. And they got everybody chomping at the bit and acting like, oh, look at me, you know, I'm middle class, I make this much, I make this much. You're all peons. We're all peons.
Yep.
Come on, man.
The top 1% want to kill 90% of the population off the earth.
Yeah, well, and the rest of them, they want us sick, you know.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way we can really make the money on a weekly and monthly basis is to be sick so they can feed us full of drugs and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, so they put shit in our food. And
Yeah,
death is profitable.
I saw the pull the plug rag that's going to be on the CD we're putting out. The pull the plug rag explains it all pretty clearly, you know.
Yeah.
Yep. Tomahawks, flamethrowers, tanks and guns, genocide, bodies rotting in the sun.
Fuck yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. But it's true. I mean, you know,
That's what's coming.
It's funny because there's still people out there that use the term conspiracy theorist as if it is a, you know, a maligned description of a crazed, you know, fringe dweller of society concocting ridiculous stories about what's happening. But as you well know, Mike, from all the way back in the day, I've been that guy long before the internet, and that's why I checked out of society, because I did my homework and I realized, yeah, everything's a freaking conspiracy, dude.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know they apply. You notice how they apply that title to someone that just asks questions.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, well, you know.
Questions
they
aren't allowed.
they
Questions
try to
aren't allowed.
marginalize you and make you look crazy, right?
Yep. Because questions
The
are
fact
not
of the
allowed.
matter is the game from the beginning was create the catastrophe and then have you begging them to sell you the solution.
Yep.
And that's what they're doing. It's working like a champion. And
It's
there's
only-
ways out of it. There's ways out of it, but we are, unfortunately, we've been spoon-fed so much damage-damaging information and entertainment that we've lost the will to do anything about it. You know what I'm saying?
And Eddie, answer me this. Do you agree that in the, you know, this has been going on for decades, but do you agree that it's now seeming to be becoming more and more obvious and they're getting more exposed? Like people are starting to wake up and see that they're playing us.
Do I think that people are starting to wake up and see that they're playing us? I think that...
Like you said, they're making problems so that we beg them for the solution. But I've noticed that people are starting to become more aware of that fact, that we're asleep, that maybe didn't realize it back in 9/11.
I say that people selectively adopt certain causes that they will see the disparity in because it affects them directly.
Yeah.
But what they're not doing is making the quantum leap from seeing one or two of the things and then questioning everything to the extent that it motivates them to do something fucking different and change things. So in other words, if you're a house mom with 2 kids, and you're a single mom and you're working, just trying to keep the food. So yeah, anything that affects education or the food supplies, things that directly affect you raising your kids, you relate to, and you start seeing the disparaging in it. But then you don't make that quantum leap from that to, all this other shit, the banking and this and that and that, is all intertwined. And if we don't stop it right now, my little corner of this fiasco is going to turn to shit. So I got to do something different, even if it makes my life more difficult. That's what people are making the leap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because at this point in the game, America is run by 2 political parties, 2, right? And they're the Rockadems and the Rockapubs, right?
Yeah.
And basically, in a nation this size, we should have about 50 parties, you know what I'm saying? And our system is so completely overtaken and jacked that until people have a radical overhaul of how they look at life and the world, anybody that thinks their life is good because they can watch Jerry Springer. I don't even know if they still have that on, but I'm old. But if you can watch Jerry Springer and drive down to the movies and eat fucking Cold Stone ice cream, then your life's good. If that's how you measure the worth of life, you're not going to do anything. You're done. You're stuck. You just put a fork in you. You know what I'm saying? Because the fix is in, and it's time for a radical rearranging of how we do things. And the point now is, my friend, revolution in the traditional style is over. Okay, we can't rise up in arms. We can't revolt the way people revolted in the past. We have to do a complete rethinking of how we revolt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Radical bartering, unplugging from the technosphere, stopping supporting gasoline or anything that's out of control, making radical changes in the life we're accustomed to living. But we're creatures of comfort in America, bro. Nobody wants. Everyone's like, this is fucked. That's fucked. This is not okay. But I'm not gonna do anything about it. I'm chilling here in the living room. I'm watching TV. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
That's solid.
So yes, I think there's a very dreary, slow, laden awakening amongst people that shit isn't right. But how many of those people that are having their little awakening can turn around now with their little awakening and say, oh, yes, my own country destroyed the Twin Towers in New York City for a purpose. And that's absolutely what happened. It's a proven fact. Anybody that takes 3 hours out of their life to investigate it will find this to be true.
Yep.
How many of those people will turn around and say, my own country bombed and destroyed the Twin Towers.
False flag.
And killed all the people in it because they had a higher agenda, and 5,000 lives and a city doesn't matter in that agenda. It's a bigger agenda. How many people can do that kind of waking up right now so that those things don't continue to happen to us?
It's crazy.
God's
I
truth.
mean, we just had the 20th anniversary of 9/11, and all that was on TV the whole weekend were documentaries, about the heroes, supporting this and that. Nobody was saying the truth, which is those buildings were destroyed, as was the other building that wasn't even hit by a plane, that housed all of the financial and CIA information. It was a planned, coordinated attack on our country that was not by terrorists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it
but
was
so
at the
they
highest
can-
levels, and, but we don't want to look at those things and admit to
Yeah.
them. Say, is there awakening happening? Yeah, but it's fucking slow.
And that was all staged. That was a false flag staged for 2 reasons. To go overseas and get the oil, and also to install the Patriot Act to spy on the
Patriot
U.S.
Act 2.
citizens.
Patriot Act 2. Not because we already had the first one, but it was Patriot Act 2 was the real ringer. And you know what? I read all of Patriot Act 2. Have you?
Yeah.
I haven't.
Okay, well, it's about 1,700 pages. It was the first piece of legislation in American history that, so when the Senate and the House passes a piece of legislation, it's not uncommon for the actual senator or House person to not read the full legislation. That's why they have a staff. And their staff will read the whole legislation, break down the key points to them, and they'll develop their position. But the Patriot Act 2 was the first piece of legislation in American history that every single staff member for the Congress and the Senate was polled, and nobody read it in its entirety before it was voted on and put through the thing. And what it says in there is, you know, as soon as we declare martial law, the Vice President has all power over the nation. The 10 districts are divided up into FEMA heads, and they can kill prisoners, take property, all that stuff. It's all right there,
Yeah.
but people don't want, you know. So is the awakening happening? I guess so, but it's painfully slow, man. It's like, you know, it's like waking up from a bad hangover when you snorted Xanaxes and did shots of Jägermeister all night. It's like, yeah, you're waking up, but you ain't like getting up right now, running out of the store, cooking eggs for everybody.
Yeah. We're stuck in the Matrix.
We're stuck in the Matrix, my friend, and you know, the thing that we're missing on right now, that's the most important part of all this is the possibility for a complete, radical, flash mob, enlightenment overhaul is possible now, which wasn't in the past, right? I mean, in the past, if you wanted to get the word out to revolt against, you know, Napoleon in Paris, well, the people in Paris had to get pissed, and then they had to run out to the towns out from there and get pissed, and those guys had to run out. And well, we have the potential for instantaneous flash mob enlightenment if we choose to. Just the same way that when there's a school shooting, everyone knows about it the next day, you know. But we're not utilizing the internet for that part of its power. We go and we post about our dog and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the potential's there. You know, I'm counting on the young lions, bro. These younger people that are coming up to have a conscience and understand the technosphere. One of them's gonna break through with something. Somehow they're gonna guide us. I hope, because we're fucking doomed. My generation, we're doomed. In fact, I want to take this opportunity on your show to formally apologize to all of the, whatever they call these people, Generation Z, Millennials, I don't know. I want to apologize to them because the ship started to go south during my generation's tenure, and we ain't fucking sunk the boat, dude. We all went party, got high, went to Judas Priest concerts, fucking got divorced, and gave the whole ship up, and now it's a fucking mess, and we're handing it over to them, and we're begging them to help us because we don't understand computers, we're dinosaurs, so...
We are living out the land of confusion.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the land of confusion.
That's exactly what it is,
yes.
It's a trip.
Yeah.
Very prophetic.
Even the news is just confusing. You're watching it, you don't really quite know what's going on. You see buildings blowing up in Ukraine, but you don't see Russians actually blowing them up, so...
Yeah, you don't know anything. You don't know, and you know,
crisis actors.
Dustin Hoffman movie is, you know, they literally just create stuff. I mean, our Americans are sitting back like Russians are invaders. They're like, we haven't puppeted Ukraine right through this whole thing and baited him into doing it. It's, you know,
We installed a puppet government there.
It is complicated, and it's tough because you're right. People don't know what sources of information to trust, and you know, they
That's by design.
blindly trust some that they shouldn't, and others, you know, check into it a little, but they don't know. You know,
And I feel like that's by design, Eddie.
Yeah, it's Biden time, Joe Biden time.
Yeah, I mean, look at him. He's just dazed and confused. They have to lead him around the room.
Yeah, that guy, I'll tell you what, man. I gotta tell you, I'm ashamed to say this, but I bit during the election, and I voted for Joe because I got that soft, warm, fuzzy feeling from knowing him back in Delaware and knowing his kids, and I remember him back then, and he gave some good speeches when I was an impressionable young guy, and I thought, you know, Joe's all right. He's going to be okay, and for the first time in my adult life, I voted for a party candidate for any position of power, and that was the stupidest thing. I feel like a schmuck. You know, but that goes to show you how powerful the system and the machine is. I mean, even a person like me, discerning, quick-witted, doesn't trust anything, I could still get sucked into pieces of it because it's just all pervasive. They're always hammering at us with it, you know.
Yeah.
Hammering. Don't take herbs and medicines and live a healthy lifestyle. Get sick and come get the drugs from us. You know, the money, the food they're poisoning us with. I mean, all of it is. It's relentless, you know, and even the most savvy, hardened, crusty old-timers like me that don't trust anything are still going to get sucked in once in a while, you know?
Yeah.
It's the fix is in, boys.
That's it. We are on the verge of World War III. Is practically imminent now.
Yes.
Armageddon mode.
They are looking, and you know NATO is looking for a false flag to say, like, oh, Russia crossed the red line.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. This shit's going down, dude. You know it is.
Yeah.
You know? And this is just the beginning, dude. I mean, China's sitting over there while this is happening going, don't let anybody support Taiwan. You know, all of Central America in the last year and a half has now not recognized Taiwan. China's in lockstep with Nicaragua to build a canal through there.
Yeah.
And pretty soon they'll have a foothold right here. Yeah, the fix is in, boys.
The Chinese flag will be up here before we know it.
Yeah,
they're manipulating the economy. They won't have to fight us in a war. They'll just cripple our economy and roll on in. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's gonna happen, dude. Another song I wrote years ago is called "The Last Days of the Empire," and that song's all about this. The last days of the empire, you know. I think a nation only stands because its citizens believe, and history repeats. You know, and it basically, the point of the bridge in the song is like, this has all been done before, and we think we're the badass, we think we're undefeatable, we're the largest nation in history. Well, guess what? There's always been a largest nation in history for every time frame there's ever been. You know, the Roman Empire was the biggest empire in history. The fucking, keep going back, dude. I mean, we go all the way back to the Phoenicians and, probably Atlantis even further, where we don't know, but at some point, there's always a biggest in the world that has the largest military and the biggest gross national product. Yeah, we're no different. I mean, it's the same thing. And so you think your shit doesn't stink and sit and look down your nose at the rest of the world, and next thing you know, the hordes are at your gate, and you don't know what the fuck's going on because you're soft from eating Twinkies. You know?
Yep.
We're all becoming meat sacks.
Meat sacks, yep. Useless, fleshless meat sacks. Speaking of which, I had really bad food poisoning over the weekend, and I threw up and vomited and shit all over my whole place, and it was really disgusting. But that doesn't really do anything.
I've been a fan of Fatty Eddie since Chocolate Twizzlers.
Chocolate Twizzlers were a thing?
Who knows? It's a song.
I've never had Chocolate Twizzlers.
But he had a song called Chocolate Twizzlers, and I've been a fan of Fatty Eddie since then.
That was called the Lost Flavors Jam.
That's what it is.
Like Vanilla Crunch, Chocolate Twizzlers, like you had all the lost flavors in there, yeah.
And Curse of the Cancer Stick.
Curse of the Cancer, the slave to the cancer stick. Oh yeah, dude. I mean, you never heard Useless Farce probably, which Useless Farce was the one that really broke all this down many moons ago, you know. The WHO with their foot and mouth down south, and I had all this shit down the Mad Cow.
WHO.
Yeah. I've been connecting the dots for a long time, Mikey, and I had to basically explain that to my son over the Christmas break, because he's 18 and he's an Eagle Scout and he's moving in the world, and I wasn't very present as a dad, as you know things didn't happen, but I told him, I said, man, I was born into the mix, I was handed the mix. My parents berated me about becoming one of the people, you know what I'm saying? They went to DuPont, we knew the Bidens, all that shit. And, along the way, I just learned too damn much. And I learned too much, too young, and then I adopted a mentality that just can't participate with the bullshit and can't do it. I can't stand by as, what's been going on in this country, like every time people talk about Ukraine or this or that, the thing I keep coming back to is our children, the children of the United States, have been under attack from evil forces the whole time that I've been a father. They've been fed genetically modified vaccinations and foods that kill and obesity and given Ritalin and ADHD drugs from the time they're 10 years old, and
And
just one thing after another, and
even early sexualization of the children also.
early sexualization, molestations. I mean, all of this stuff, and people don't care. And I'm like, you take a look in your own living room. Like, I see parents in the store, in parking lots, yelling at their kids, screaming at them, shut up, quit crying, bro. Why do you think they're doing all that? Look how you raised them. You raised them in front of a fucking Wiggles fucking video, and fed them fucking Pop-Tarts and Coca-Cola and put them on Ritalin, and now you can't control them and you're upset. You're gonna yell and scream at them.
Yeah.
We don't want to take responsibility for what our lifestyle has created. And let's face it, boys, this whole thing is about the American lifestyle. I know it's purported in other countries as well, but what it comes down to is we developed and created and Hollywoodized a manner of living that promotes rampant consumption and vain glorification, and worship of the eye, and we put that out to the world so that other countries glom down it. So you have a segment of the world that is addicted to dumping dispensable income into useless, fucking worthless shit.
Yep.
I mean, across the board, and then idolizing those people. The more worthless, useless shit you have, if you're Paris Hilton and you're wearing $9,000 sunglasses with 3 poodles in your lap and you're then you get worshipped and idolized. If you're the Kardashians, you're worshipped and idolized. And for what? What do these people worship and idolize for? Consuming the fuck out of daddy's money.
Yeah,
basically.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And on what? Do all of them? Sure, all of them donate to charities. They all have a hospital in their name somewhere. Yeah, I get that. But that doesn't offset the lifestyle they promote with all the impossible young people that watch them. When you see a 6-year-old girl twerking, right? Like, that's fucking cool. And you see these cheerleaders kids with their moms and their fucking kids are made up and sexualized every time. All of this stuff, none of it means a fucking thing. It's all a fucking illusion. It is an illusion. If you don't think it's an illusion, come hang out with me some afternoon, and I'll get you some Series 222 microgram old Samsung bags, hit you up with some of that Super Keta set, and fucking, I'll rip that shit right out from under you in 2 hours. I'll have you sitting looking around going, what the fuck, this shit doesn't make any sense, or this shit doesn't move, because it is. It's all a constructed, fabricated movie.
Diabolical.
Feeding you, so that you will go out and buy the guns, the T-shirts, the albums, the fucking stickers, the hairspray,
like
and whatever else. You know what I'm saying? And none of it fucking matters.
It's all brainwashing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying people can't buy that stuff and enjoy that life if that's what works for them. What I'm saying is,
that's not what it's all about.
Glorify and idolize people who live that lifestyle. We don't idolize and glorify people who live simply, eat healthily, treat people decently. You know what I'm saying? That's a nowheresville right there. Nobody wants to see that shit.
Yeah, we lose track of what life's actually about. Get caught up in the glitter of commercialism.
Yeah, I mean, I told my son when we talked about it not long ago, I said, listen, dude, your family, your mom's family, they live comfortable lives, they're middle-class people, money's important to them, their houses, their cars important to them. If that's what you want for life, then go for it. But make sure that's what you want and need to be content, and that you're not going after that because somebody told you to or because you saw it in a movie. Yeah. Because I'm sitting here on the other side of the fence telling you that you can be perfectly fine not going for any of that at all. I mean, literally, dude, I live on borrowed clothes. I never have any money. I don't need it. It's all a fucking joke, dude. I don't need it. I don't want it. It's not real, dude. Human interaction, music, art, rhyme, fucking treating people decently, being there for somebody when they need you. Those are the things that matter, and that's all that'll ever matter.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's a damn shame,
Yeah.
I just, so the answer to that long-winded answer to your question basically comes down to, are people waking up a little? I guess so. A negligible amount, yes.
Before we let you go, Eddie, we are filming an actual documentary-style movie, a biopic, about the homeless apocalypse, for lack of better words. It's a working title.
Yeah.
A big production film that we're doing. Me and Mr. Mike Castro here.
How our government has these people in one section of the city and just doesn't give a fuck about how they're living.
Can we get a Fatty Eddie cameo in this film?
Absolutely. Not only that, but why don't I take you down and give you a guided tour of the biggest kept secret in the Bay Area, which is, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you go look online, you won't find a single picture of it. But the entire City Hall Plaza in San Francisco is now a homeless village. And
gotta
they put
go
up
do that.
8-foot walls all the way around Civic Plaza, from City Hall over to the Bill Graham Civic Center, across the street to the museum, and up the other side. That entire plaza has been walled off with 8-foot plywood, and they've ushered everyone from the Tenderloin, the homeless from the Mission, and all that area right there, straight into even as far as Dog Point and stuff. And ushered them in there, and basically it's a free for all. People can do whatever they want. But if you go look that up on the internet, you're not going to see it.
No, we got to see this. We got to see it firsthand.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to see it firsthand, because it ain't no joke. It's the real deal, Holyfield.
Oh, it's going to be diabolical. This film is going to be just over the top and very slick and smooth and well produced, but to help get our Doomsday Journal into the next set of eyes and ears. And I know we're making sure that Fatty Eddie, everybody, is a big part of this, because Fatty Eddie did the theme song we just played for you before the show started.
I like that a lot, by the way.
Bruce. Yep, me and Demigod Bruce fucking hammered that out for you guys. It was a thrill, and it was an honor to do it for you guys.
Thank you.
Eddie didn't see the future, he heard it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Any shout-outs, Eddie?
Get you some music to go with it, and I'd be more than happy to give you the guided tours in San Francisco, in Oakland, Santa Cruz, Mendocino. I know we're all almost together, so I'm more than happy to do it.
We may expand production to about 30 days to get the best film we can, just filming here and there, and maybe even have Fatty Eddie do some music for us for the upcoming motion picture.
Sounds good.
Well, in the homeless apocalypse, we got to find the other homeless too, because there's a lot of them. Not just the people in the homeless encampments, but the people that are homeless in their RVs, in their cars. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Because they're a nomadic society now.
I have a friend that's living in an RV. I mean,
Sickness is deep.
I mean, in a park.
Yeah, well, people are resorting to what works. And what it comes down to is it's not just that people are living at poverty level or this or that. It's that the basic structure of living in this country, not homeless, is not only extremely expensive, but very labor intensive, and you have to be educated and you have to be of sound mind. In other words, what I'm saying is, if you just say, to get someone off the street, you have to get them an apartment, a vehicle, a job, and this and that. Well, just in the state of California, just an apartment and a vehicle and a job costs you so much money, so much paperwork, and so many things to remember on a weekly and monthly basis, that the person who's been decommissioned from society for any period of time is incapable of jumping back. I mean, most people can't even fill out food stamps applications. That's too difficult. You know what I'm saying? Let alone, figure out how to keep gas in the car and the tires from being flat and getting to work on time and everything else. So the divide is actually much bigger than just people who are out of a home and people who have a home. It's this divide of people that are living even marginally well. And it's the fix is in, boys.
Yeah.
The fix is in. Any shout-outs, Eddie?
Let me get some shout-outs. Let me give a shout-out to Dossie D, who's down in Joshua Tree right now, handling her life with her family, and Bruce, who went through the court systems today and fucking came out the other side clean, and Julie and Augie and Franny over there at Cameron Park, who are doing the do day in and day out. Augie, my Eagle Scout son, amazing boy, and Franny, his sister. And let's give a shout out right now to Gigi Allen. because Gigi needs a shout. You know what I'm saying? It's been a minute since he passed from us. He didn't go on stage like he said he would, but he lived the life of a Manchurian candidate on crack. And, you know, it should be acknowledged. You guys know Gigi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Of course. Well, you know, I got to see Gigi play for about an hour, about a minute and 28 glorious seconds. He shit on himself, threw it all over everybody, jumped to a window, and they chased him down the street into the night. So,
Eddie,
I feel like that was one of my great live shows I ever attended.
Eddie, if you wrote a book, I would fucking read it. I love the way I love the way you work your words in your sentences, for real. It's enticing, like you can't turn away.
The podcast is coming, Mike. I'm going to be doing a podcast called The Back in the Day Cafe. I've started structuring it. It's going to take me a little bit to get it online, but once I do, it's going to be amazing, and the book will come right out of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to turn the podcast episode simple.
You got to include the human sampler and Grant the Head Newman.
I'm going to do the round tables, dude, and I'm going to round table with music industry people. I'm going to round table with broker people and the pod dealer people from Northern Cal that I worked with. I'm gonna broker off sections of the madness, you know. I might even get a Clamper episode or a Bohemian Grove episode, you know.
I actually know some clampers.
Oh, well, you know one right here. What say the brethren? I'm in good standing, chapter 49, James Marshall, baby.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I'm not a member myself, but I know a lot of them and respect them.
Well, Fatty Eddie is an ordained minister in the Church of the Subgenius, a member in good standing of E. Clampus Vitus, and has been inside both the Bohemian Club and the Bohemian Grove. So that gives you a little idea how I get around.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's an infiltration situation is what we have going on.
Yeah. Now,
well, you know what Hunter Thompson said, buddy? When the going gets weird, the weird turn pro, and that's what's got to happen.
Yeah, right?
It's time for high weirdness to rule. It's time to assault the senses with a complete lack of decorum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every fucking day.
Every day.
Every day you gotta fucking assault. Well, here's the thing. Like, we're so bombarded by bullshit, just like you said earlier, that we really gotta think outside that fucking bubble, because we're trapped in this bubble concocted, like you said, to believe that fucking a bucket of KFC and a nice car is the fucking, you know, tip of the iceberg in life. Like, that's what you should aspire to have. A badass car and a bucket of KFC and a bimbo in a house. Like, that's all life should be, and that's sad. And a lot of people live their lives thinking, you know, we talk about quintile disparity, blah, 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 but they live their lives trying to aspire to bullshit. They aspire to bullshit, and it's shit you can't take with you when you die.
It's all simulation.
It's like being in the fucking Matrix.
The simulation is underway.
It's a simulation.
It's like being in a Grant Newman nightmare.
We're programmed at a young age. This is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You do it that way.
Yeah. And they were saying online that what's fucked up is when you talk about education, where it starts for the most part, the brainwashing, it's not organized by how smart your kid is, by their age group.
Yep.
So you're this old, you're in this grade, regardless of how dumb or smart your kid is.
Exactly. Thank you. I mean, dude, let's face it, the educational system in this country is specifically a meat grinder that is designed to turn out worker beef, and that's it.
So Lemmy from Motorhead said, and I quote, "Our education systems failed. To hide our guilt, we build more jails, and we shall build more."
I like that.
And now it's not jails anymore.
Don't be a bitch, eat the rich.
Right. Now it's not jails anymore. Now they're just blatantly killing us off.
Oh, yeah. Like you said, poisoning our food source, fucking with the water.
You know, they were locking people up and keeping people in ghettos, and now they moved on to phase 4, and that's extermination.
So they're pulling the cats out of the cages and just putting them to sleep at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a soft version of what Hitler did to the Jews on a mass scale.
It is. It fucking is.
You guys nailed it. There you go.
You know, YouTube's going to shut us down for this episode.
What has happened is, look, the French Revolution was the point at which, right after the French Revolution is when the Illuminati was formed in Bavaria. And the whole point behind the Illuminati was some illuminated ones were going to guide the world, right? And what they learned during the French Revolution is, if you oppress people to the point where they have no food, no money, nowhere to go, they're going to revolt and they're going to win because you've taken everything from them. So the soft tyranny had to happen, and it's taken them a while to development, but the soft tyranny is in place now, and you're exactly right that the next lesson was from the Nazis in Germany. Well, you can't just exterminate like that, so it's now soft extermination. It's now soft tyranny. It's soft Nazism. It's a soft fucking genocide. You know,
Yep.
they wrap it in paper and oh man, you know, make a little money on the way out. You know, I mean, I laugh at all you people that have vaccines. Now, I heard the guy yesterday saying, yeah, that vaccine plus those 3 boosters, that's not going to give you the coverage you need. You're going to need to get number 4. I'm like, dude, you guys are on a subscription service for this fucking shit. Dude. They're just like, chop me up another 52 per person in the bank, cha-ching. I'm like, fuck, Jesus, dude.
NASA and the UN are on record, and there's documents on this. Don't take it from me. You can find the documents online. And they're talking about spraying soft metals and nanoparticles, technology particles that are viruses that are actually robots that they're going to be spraying into the air, and we breathe in these viruses, these nanotechnology robots that then attach to our cells and start killing off the tissues.
Not only that, but they can genetically pinpoint them, so they can infest you with this nanotechnology, and then they can literally, by sending out a
5G,
basically an aerial precursor, they can have that thing that's already lodged inside of you attack people with specific genetic descriptions. So they can literally infect this whole city if you color them with this one thing, and then they can send a precursor in the air that will target the genetic marker so that all the blonde-haired girls between the ages of 20 and 35 die.
Well, and that's why I think the virus and 5G are connected. That the virus was nanotechnology being manipulated by 5G waves.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and that's what I'm saying when I'm saying that about people waking up too slowly and too little. Is like, yeah, they're having these little awakenings, but they're not making that quantum leap. I can understand if you realize one thing's true, you don't make the quantum leap, but when you see the second, third, the fourth, then it's time to say, wait a minute. If these things are happening and I'm now convinced that this is fucked, that's fucked, and that's fucked, maybe it's time for me to make the quantum leap now and say, okay, these people that have been educating themselves and being called conspiracy theorists for their thinking are onto something here. Instead of me taking 15 years to get the next 30 things through my thick skull, I'm going to make the quantum leap now that I've seen evidence for a few of the things. And I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into radical maneuvering and polarization. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just going to, instead of assuming that everything that I get from the news and from the governments is right, now that I know that 2 or 3 or 4 of these things are a fucking abject lie and are miserably, horrendous, I'm going to go ahead now and decide, the conspiracy theorists are probably right. And the government's wrong, and so I'm going to go with their theories first.
Well, especially,
and the government can prove me otherwise.
Well, especially when the conspiracy theorists' predictions are turning out right. Like, say, how many times has Alex Jones been right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Alex Jones has been right on so many occasions, and you just start seeing what he's talking about, and you start realizing that the world isn't run by these presidents; it's run by the World Economic Forum.
Oh yeah, Klaus. Yeah,
Klaus Schwab. He wants to kill us. He's on record saying that. He's on record saying that he controls the governments around the world.
And he does.
He brags about it openly.
It's a difficult thing to control. I mean, let's face it. There are companies that are far more powerful than governments. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's a given. I mean,
we need to get Eddie down for live
interviews.
interviews.
A vaccination for a pandemic worldwide, you ain't going to go to any single government. You're going to go to AstraZeneca or whatever, right?
Exactly.
Well, those companies, when you're talking about Apple, when you're talking about Tesla, when you're talking about AstraZeneca, that's chump change. Start talking about Vanguard, Blackwater.
Right.
Start talking about the Universal
BlackRock.
that own all those companies.
BlackRock.
Yeah.
All those big ones. And you notice during the pandemic, if you were a small business, you were, what's the word they were using? Non-essential.
were
but
vital.
the big corporations like Walmart and those were essential.
Not economically viable.
Yeah, did you notice that you could shop at Safeway and Walmart, but you couldn't go to church? What's the difference?
Yep, exactly.
That's the song lyric right there, Eddie.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, my pastor, Pastor Kenny, he went and had services the whole way through.
Fuck
they came to shut him down.
It's important that we know.
He said, God guides me, buddy.
It's important that everyone knows we are in the end times. We are in the 7-year reign of the devil.
Oh shit.
I mean, just what happened with this corona thing, right?
Yeah.
Any person that's an awake person of any kind can look back at this pandemic and think about who they were at the beginning of it. Think about who they were when, okay, now someone like myself, from the minute it started, I was like, fuck these people. I didn't wear a mask. I didn't get a vaccine because I don't fucking buy none of it, right? But even the people that were trying to be good citizens, that were trying to act cautiously from their heart, I mean, they were worried. People were dying. We don't want Auntie M to die, right? So I'll wear my mask and I'll do this and that. But even those people can look back now after 2 years and see the lies that were perpetrated. Everybody knows they were told this, they were told that, they were told that. We've seen those, right? But that still doesn't convince them that the whole thing is a giant show and that it was all planned and that they've been developing this shit over in China with the money through Fauci and all these people. I mean, but that's how things really are. Things don't happen by accident. They don't, and you say, well, but that's horrible. People can't be that bad. But what these people that don't understand is you're a family. You guys make $100,000 a year. You go to Christmas with your grandma and your kids. You love each other. You're kind to one another. That's who you are. You're talking about hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars people made off the masks and the vaccines and, all of this. And when you're talking that kind of money, people like us have no understanding whatsoever of what motivates people in that range of, because you're not even talking about being rich. You're talking about power to manipulate the world, and for those people, that's the end game, man.
They get off on it.
And you know why?
They're all perverts.
Because they're empty, shallow, disgustingly pointless lives.
There's
ejaculation of a nation.
Talking about, it's the highest pinnacle of what the materialistic, consuming, fucking arrogant, egotistical prick can achieve on this planet, because you have no soul, you have no spiritual endeavors. So
they are soul-sucked
most you can
ghouls.
hope for is to, have more money and more power than anybody else.
Eddie, it's always a pleasure having you on. We like to schedule you down for a live in-person interview.
Hell yeah.
Here in the near future.
Let's do it. If I do, I'll bring the guitar out. I'm going to throw around some stuff for you, too.
Hell yeah.
You're excited, Eddie, and you're going to be in our film.
We can get into, we can go into any of these things in detail, because one thing you should know about me is the reason I'm the way I am is because I've done my homework. Like, I can go deep on these topics, you know what I'm saying? I'm not just rambling and saying, oh, this and that. I mean, when anybody tries to talk to me about any of this stuff, first thing I'll do is I'll just dress them down and be like, so what do you know about any of that? How much investigating have you done in any of it? Like, if you want to talk to me about 9/11,
Yeah.
well, you better come correct, because I've put hundreds and hundreds of hours of research into it. That's all I know what I know, you know what I'm saying? You want to talk to me about the Bushes, you better be able to tell me how, how George Herbert Walker's family made all their money.
Yeah.
The refineries on the Rhine as they sold all the oil and gas to the Nazis during World War II. Like, you can't just come at me and be like this and that. I know my shit.
That's the Bush, Clinton, Obama crime syndicate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Obama. Now, don't you know who's running for president next? Let's see. Trump,
Hillary
Clinton, and Michelle Obama. Osama Obama, dude. Now Michelle's gonna run, right?
Oh, no.
Our poor,
Right.
so polluted.
Her and her nylons.
And everybody thinks Obama was some great guy. He's a member of the Syrian 7, dude.
Yeah.
That guy's fucking a puppet of Zbigniew Brzezinski, dude. Like, he's as new as anyone comes.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
He's a globalist puppet, just like Biden.
If you're going to talk to me, I'm going to throw 5 quick questions at you, man. You can't answer one of them. I can't even talk to you. You can't have a conversation with you. Because you get all your information from Facebook memes. You know what I'm saying?
All right, Eddie. We love you, man.
Love you guys too, man.
God bless.
Thanks for chatting with me, and I'm glad you guys are doing what you're doing. Keep the faith. It's going to make a difference. You'll see.
All hail Zig.
All hail Zig.
Okay. Stuck in the Matrix, folks. That's where they have us. We have this crisis in Ukraine. What's going on there? I mean, you gotta watch all the news, people, because they are censoring everything out of Russia. I'm not a Russophile. I'm not a Russophile. I don't support how Putin's going about this. Okay, but I think there are other factors, and I think Putin has a very different version of what's being told to the public of what's going on there.
Oh, fuck yeah.
When you turn on the Russian news, and the Russian people, a lot of the Russian people that aren't protesting, they show a lot of people protesting the war, but, I mean, that's not all of Russia, okay? But here's the thing. A lot of them believe, because the government's told them, that the 2 areas in Ukraine, the Donbass, and I forget what the other one was called, Luhansk or something. I don't know how to pronounce it quite right, but those areas were being run by Russian-backed militia groups that had liberated their city from the Ukrainian government, and the Ukrainian government has been shelling. What they don't tell you is that the Ukrainian government has been shelling those people living there, like Russia's doing to them now, has been shelling the people of Donbass and Luhansk for 8 years straight.
Son of a fucking bitch.
So Russia is saying that we're going in there, we're recognizing those 2 areas as independent from you guys, and we're coming in to back them up.
See? Forced perspective.
And now you also hear him say we'll get the clips and put them on our page.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can put them on our page. But you have a lady ask Putin if this operation could have been avoided. And Putin said that they're killing the people of Donbass and Luhansk like dogs in the street. They're not dogs, they're people. And that the West will come from across the ocean and make them nuclear. And then they'll claim they had nothing to do with it. And act like they don't claim them. They don't recognize them with nuclear power and tell them they need to denuclearize. But it'll all be a lie. They'll have us. They won't even need, at that point, he said the West won't even need intercontinental ballistic missiles. They'd have us at gunpoint right here.
Shit.
Because they would move their missiles in there in secret. They nuclearize Ukraine. And Russia wants a safety zone between NATO and himself.
Unfucking real.
Now, I believe Putin has gone a little too far. He's I think he's going a little further than he anticipated because he ran into a pretty strong resistance. But
Pushback.
He does not want to kill everybody. He could, if Russia wanted to, guys, they could destroy Ukraine in a single day.
Easily. Fucking easily.
Wipe them off the map. But they don't want to wipe them off the map. They are trying to save the people living there from the corrupt Ukrainian government. I mean, they're pretty corrupt people. They're in bed with Hunter Biden.
Oh, it's fucked.
Burisma.
The list goes on for Eller.
But here's the shady part, okay? Our media's going on there, and they blew up a hospital. They blew up a school.
Yep.
Okay,
I saw this.
Now the Russians said, well, they're firing on us from the hospitals with their missiles. And now it's like, who do you believe?
It's so fucked.
Who do you believe? I mean, it's logical, right? They're firing us from that building, blow it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because they blow up a hospital doesn't mean it's occupied necessarily. We don't know.
Yeah, there's people in there, but that doesn't mean that the government wasn't attacking from that point to have, hide behind innocent people.
See?
Well, Russians won't hit us because it's a civilian target. You know what I mean?
Human body shields.
Yeah.
Meat bags. More meat bags.
So, and then now Russia has now accused the United States of having bioweapon facilities in Ukraine. And these have been there since 2008. 2008, people. Long time. And if you actually pull up old news articles from 2014, they are talking about these biolabs. But then our government said this is Russian disinformation right now. Oh, this is Russian disinformation. There is no bioweapons labs. Then their stance changed from last week to this week. All they do exist. We have
Flip their fucking position.
We have bio labs, but they're not bioweapon labs. They're just bio research labs. And now the Russians are going to stage a false flag and use those viruses in those labs to wage chemical and biological warfare on Ukraine.
So here's where I chime in. China. Is China backing both the Ukraine and Russia? Playing both sides like a double dealer?
So Putin came on, and the strongest statement he said was that this is a tragedy for the Ukrainian people. And he didn't really condemn Russia so much, but that he did ask Putin to wait until after the Olympics to make his move.
Right?
He has now sent a couple $2 billion in humanitarian aid to the people of Ukraine. And now, just this week, they're reporting that Putin has now gone to China for financial and military assistance and food supply.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And China's not responded yet. Okay, so I don't know how it's going to go. I do know that the Syrian regime, the Assad regime in Syria, is sending Syrian troops onto Ukrainian soil to aid the Russian invasion.
Fucked up shit, man. What a time to fucking be
If
alive.
you remember, in 2014, or 2015, that Obama was trying to take out the Assad regime and put the Syrian rebels in charge. Putin was telling us, what are you doing? We're supposed to be fighting those guys. That's ISIS. The Syrian rebels are ISIS members. And you're going to give them weapons and arm them after they've been attacked, terror attacks. So Putin said, no, I recognize the Assad regime as the legitimate government and consider them an ally. They set up a no-fly zone in Syria and warned America that anyone who flew in that space would be shot down.
Oh, shit.
So now they're calling in the favor of Syria.
Unfucking real.
With Syria. So here's the thing. Russian soldiers in their training are not as highly trained in urban warfare settings. The Syrians are used to that type of fight. In the streets, in the cities, in between buildings, you know what I mean? Behind cars. It's urban warfare.
Rural
in a city,
warfare.
yeah. In an urban setting. Mm-hmm. The Russians train more in a wilderness setting, like in the trees, in the mountains fighting, you know what I mean? So that's why he's reached out to them. And then the Islamic Chechens are part of a private army called the Wagner Group. It's a private army owned by a Russian oligarch. And their MO is crushing rebellions by using brutal tactics. So the Chechens are the guys that you hear on the news firing at press and shit. Like, they just don't give two shits.
That's so fucked.
They captured some Ukrainians that was making them pray to Allah.
Yeah.
I mean,
shit's getting fucking real real quick.
Now, another shady thing, our government is not doing anything about this. They're condemning Russia's actions, hitting them with sanctions. But it's all smokescreen. This was a very convenient catastrophe for Obama. I mean Biden and
Same person, different era.
Yeah, I mean it's a convenient little scapegoat. Gas prices have been increasing since day one of his presidency.
Private little war.
Yeah.
Private little war.
Since day one of his presidency, they've been going up, right? Putin was not invading then. So he cut all Russian oil, which is only 3% of the oil we receive, so that he could spike the gas prices up. So that what they're trying to do is make it too expensive to drive gas cars. So they'll be forced to go electric. Everyone will be forced to go electric.
Hybrids, plug-ins,
They're
Teslas.
They're doing this on purpose to float the green agenda, but they need a boogeyman so that we don't blame him. Oh, it's
Right.
Russia.
Divide the people.
It's so obvious, people. I mean, we're gonna go to the gas prices. What is the most expensive gas you've gotten lately?
I'll tell you what. I took a $20 bill to put in my tank at the Chevron in an undisclosed town that we
Yeah.
are operating from. And I'll tell you this much. I got 3 gallons and some change.
Well, that was your mistake on Chevron, but
Words can't describe the terror I felt. I felt quintile disparity at that exact moment. A slight palpitation, sweat on my forehead.
Chevron's like $6 a gallon for your
It's fucking
cheapest.
ridiculous. But I believe in the Techron. That's my boogeyman. They got in my head that the Techron keeps my car clean and safe.
That's all bullshit.
It's all bullshit. It's all hype. Like a McDonald's salad. Somehow it's healthy.
So-
a salad from McDonald's won't kill you.
Cheapest I've gotten around here is $5.29 a gallon. That's for bottom of the line, unleaded, cheap gas. And they're predicting it's going to go higher. We will see $7 a gallon. We probably will see $10 a gallon this year.
Easily.
$10 a gallon this year.
$10 a fucking... Imagine, so if my car is... It's an 8-gallon tank, right?
Mine's a
Mind-numbing
15-gallon tank.
Well, think about that. Okay, 15-gallon tank. It's going to cost you $150 fucking dollars to fill up your tank. Can you imagine that?
I just filled up today.
Was it like
2 weeks ago, it was $60 even. Filled my tank. Okay. Today, filled my tank for $85.
Almost $100 to fill your tank.
Yep.
That's fucking nuts. That's fucking fucked.
So, with that being said, we're gonna go to the phones here. I'm gonna get a caller on. We're gonna ask our callers the highest amount of gas they paid
Right?
this week and how they feel about that.
Because, I mean, I feel like it's just skyrocketing at this point. And it is being put on a boogeyman. It is divisive. It is sleight of hand. Look over here. This is happening behind you. I mean, I remember when gas was $2.53 a gallon back in 2002, having a Datsun 510, gassing it up, having enough gas in my car with $5 to go from Moss Landing to Santa Cruz, and not even stress. And now it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. 3-point-something gallons from $20. That's insane.
Very insane.
Doomsday
It's
to the point.
never been this high.
Ever. It's a commodity. Like fucking milk or lumber. It just keeps going up and up and up. Ejaculation of a nation. Ejaculation of a nation. Words can't describe the terror I feel getting gas. I mean, a fucking depressing thought. It's painful. It causes me anxiety.
Yeah, I mean, people don't know how we expect to survive. J-Ro, you're live on the air.
What's up with it?
Not much. How are you doing tonight?
bro, I thought you was gonna call earlier, man.
Yeah. We got one of the other callers went a little longer than we'd expected.
It was solid though.
It was solid, but we were just want to get your opinion on what your highest gas tax was this week.
Highest gas tax.
Yeah, what was the cheapest gas and the most expensive you've seen?
The most expensive I've seen is Saudi. I think it's, man, I don't pay what everybody pays because I have I got the fuel. My car's fuel flex, so I get that E85.
Oh fuck yeah!
Which is so I pay what the fuck do I pay? $4 or no? The highest right now is at $4. I think it's at $4.19.
That's pretty. That's the highest where you're at.
No. Well, for the E85.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you have a different type of gas.
Yeah, it's a different type of gas. So, but the other gas, the regular gas, I don't know. I think it's at 6. I think maybe I seen it at 6 something, 636, 650, something like that. It's high, bro. And I heard it was even higher out in different areas of LA. So if you go out the coast of Mesa and shit like that, those areas, deep in, or OC, it's like $7, bro.
Yeah, the cheapest I had this week was $5.29. Fill my tank up at $85.
Wow, that's crazy.
3 weeks ago, it was $60.
I don't know why I'm saying it's good, but because that's cheap. That's cheap. Northern Cali is usually cheaper than Southern California, I believe.
Yeah.
But that's expensive, bro.
The Bay Area's got $7 gas, like San Francisco.
Oh no shit! They got a 7. But that's high. I haven't seen it at 7 yet, but I heard, like I said, in different parts of LA, it's 7.
Yeah.
They were saying that on the news.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny that they're blaming all the gas prices on Putin when they've been going up since day one.
Right.
I do think it added to it, definitely, but it was it was a convenient little scapegoat, I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right. I think that the highest that I've seen the E85 was at where it's at now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And maybe, let's say before this shit happened, it was at what, 389, 386, and that was still high because, dude, I'm used to paying $350, $340 for that E85, and then even before this, sometime last year, it was at way under that. It was 3 something, 325 or 329 was mine. Yeah.
So the conspiracy theory I have is I think that they're trying to push for no more gas cars, trying to go electric, and they're just trying to make it so expensive that you have to go trade in for an electric,
Right.
And this war's provided a clever little way to look, it's jacking the prices up.
A private little war.
That's what they're doing, man. They want everybody to go electric, right?
Yep, they don't want no more gas cars. California wants to be totally electric. You can't even buy gas cars anymore by 2035 or something like that.
No shit.
Yeah, that's the governor signed that, for California.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think you'll get a tax credit or something.
Yeah, they were saying that, but a lot of people in LA are saying, what good is that? What is that fucking?
Well, so say you buy an electric car. At the end of the year, you claim that, and you get another $10,000 tax credit.
Oh, I thought you were talking about what they were trying to give us right now. They were trying to give us another stimulus because of the gas. Because what they're trying to do is they can't take. I think the government's trying to knock the taxes down off of the gas.
Yeah.
Right? That's what they were saying they were going to do. They can't fucking do that. That's bullshit. So they were saying that the alternative is to just give us another check.
Yeah. Hey, more government spending, so it drives up the cost of your meat. Now you're going to be buying $20 steaks.
Right. Right, where the fuck is that check coming from? That money.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
all the money we have is debted money. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Hey, and then too, where's that gas patch going to? I mean, where the fuck is that money going to?
yeah.
Huh?
They say to fix the roads and to do this and that, but all the roads is fucked up, you know?
Fuck yeah, dude. Every time I look up, I got a fucking tie rod that's out. Or fucking, you know what I mean? Cracked rim where I gotta fucking, I'm thinking, I gotta go fill my air up. It's no good. The tire's good. It's the fucking rim that's cracked. It's leaking air slowly. You know what I mean? So you gotta buy a new rim or buy a new tie rod or fucking buy a whole new suspension. It's always like, it goes to your you know, to your vehicle, bro. Well, basically, why don't you just get an electric car?
And just wait till one of these psychopathic elites learn how to charge us for breathing air.
Right.
You know, can't pay your air bill? Yeah, goodbye.
Buy an electric car. That would all the problems.
You know, think about it, though. If you had an electric car that charged itself from moving, think about that.
Right.
Like you have those wind-up flashlights that you sit there and crank and it gets a battery charge.
Alternator.
Why can't a car strictly run on that principle?
Right.
Like the farther you drive, the more charged up your car is, and it charges the electric. Your own motion charges that's where you get your charge from, instead of having to plug in.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a great thing. They'd probably silence you right away and make sure they killed your invention, you know?
I don't want to get an electric car. Dude, the way those cars are built, the kids even tell, Gabby tells me, it's a big ass, it's like a phone, bro. You know how the phone used to be where they put the big ass, it's different now. They got better technology, but before, remember when we used to have the cell phones with the big ass batteries?
Yeah.
You open it, it's a huge fucking battery in there.
Yeah.
That's the same. That's the way Tesla is. Their battery is right underneath the car. Their whole bottom of the car is a fucking battery. The bottom of the car. So we're talking the drivetrain. That whole bottom of the car is like a big fucking, like excuse me, battery.
Yeah.
Right? Then the rest is like a tin can. So I don't know if you ever seen those Teslas when they get in an accident. Dude, I seen an accident with a Mustang and a Tesla. The Tesla was fucking in two halves, and the Mustang wasn't even barely scratched, bro.
Yeah, I heard that they built them that way so that it splits the car in half so it doesn't kill the driver or some shit. And I'm like,
You feel me? It's like, what the fuck? I don't know if I want one of those cars.
I don't need both my legs.
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah. So,
Have you seen the news? You've seen the news on the Ukrainian situation?
yeah, I see.
I guess Russia's asking China to send them military support.
Oh, so I ain't really sat and watched. I just seen like bits and pieces. Like I've seen the Ukrainian president. He was he was giving some kind of speech. I forgot where he was at. But
He's supposed to talk tomorrow to our Congress.
yeah. And then I just see news flashes of 350,000
Shit.
Ukrainians that's still stuck in there or some shit.
Yeah. That's
Or
nuts.
die. I don't know, bro. I'm not keeping up with it anymore. Now it's getting ridiculous. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, World War III is imminent at this point. The Assad regime in Syria has approved boots on the ground in Ukraine to aid the Russian invasions. And then the Islamic Chechens are sending fighters in there to tear shit up too. And, I mean, when you're sending in people that aren't Russian or Ukrainian, they don't have any emotional ties to the people. They're just coming in to kill.
Yeah. That's war. That's war is hell, man. We already know that.
But you see, the Russian soldiers might be related to some of the Ukrainians. They're so close, and a lot of them soldiers had a Ukrainian mom and a Russian dad, or a Russian mother, or Ukrainian father. I mean, they're practically the same people. So there's a bit of an emotional thing there. It's like brothers fighting brothers. But the Syrians aren't going to have that same outlook when they show up. They just got a green light to kill people, you know? It's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, you got any J-Ro, you got any shout-outs?
Shit, I ain't gonna shout out to nobody. Myself, my daughter,
That's what's
feel
up.
me, my kids.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to, I don't know. Shout out to Kobe again.
There you go.
I was gonna give a shout out to him.
He escaped all the bullshit.
Exactly. Shout out to Smith and Wesson, you know.
There you go. You gotta stay ready.
Stay ready, that's it, man.
Stay ready.
Yeah, bro.
Yep. There we go.
Right,
God bless.
Yeah.
God bless, J-Ro.
Yep, you gotta stay up.
Have a good one. Yeah, I mean, it's turning out to be a
This has been a good episode.
pretty good night.
Phenomenal.
Eddie has, contributed quite a bit to the episode. I mean,
Right.
might give him a job as a journalist.
Maybe so.
We might have to bring him on.
Want to try to call the infamous Dinglefoot?
Oh, we have to call him.
Dinglefoot. Come on, Dinglefoot, answer your phone.
Gas prices.
The gas hole. Dr. Klaus, are you at work?
I am at work.
Real quick, give me your 30-second opinion on gas prices.
Well, I think they're very high, but at the same time, I'm not going to be a person that says, oh, I think that we should support the Ukrainians as long as the gas price doesn't go too high.
Diabolical.
Yeah.
So at this point, I don't know. I think something's got to happen because I think that Putin, well, the last I've heard, I don't think he's crazy, but he might be, some people say that he might be on steroids.
Really?
Yes. And that could be causing some of his behavior. Maybe he's not in the best shape, so he's trying to make a mark in history before he leaves this world.
That's what I think. I think the sudden move, because I know that he has Parkinson's.
Oh, shit.
And he did have cancer. I don't know if he's still battling it or if he... yeah, he had cancer in 2020. And I'm wondering if maybe he got that death sentence and he wants, like you said, to restore the USSR before his passing.
Immortalized.
And I think at some point we're going to have to do something because otherwise, I mean, because he recently got to the west end of Ukraine, only about 15 miles from Poland. So if he actually accidentally sends incendiary into Poland,
Yeah.
then
Article
we have
5.
an excuse to go in because that's an actual NATO country, whereas Ukraine is not.
Yep. And, now they're talking about bioweapons and chemical warfare. And
Weapons of math instruction.
it's...
Yes, they are. They're talking about that team may start to use chemical weapons because it's the same thing as the excuse to go into the eastern part of Ukraine, where they were saying that the Ukrainians were, I don't know, they've done something, ambush or done something to the Russians there. So they may, as a pretext, say that the Ukrainians are developing biological warfares with the United States, and
For us,
what's happening is that China is actually supporting that theory, and so China seems to be supporting Russia, and that is what the meeting was about earlier today with the USA, I don't know, not ambassador, but trying to talk with them because if China may try to, because we're trying to, what's the term? What we're trying to do is keep products from Russia. What's the
sanction.
sanctions? We're trying to sanction Russia but Russia may just try to get their products from China, which would be a runaround of the sanctions.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. That's why it's not really affecting him, I don't think.
Right.
And I think that they're doing that on a back burner through cryptocurrencies that we're not able to trace.
Goddamn.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so there is definitely the concern is that our president doesn't want to put troops on the ground because he thinks it's next major war. But it may happen anyway.
Well, the Assad regime has approved Syrian boots on Ukrainian soil to aid the Russian invasion.
Wow.
And the Islamic Chechens have been in the fight. They were the first ones in for Russia.
Oh, the Chechens are with Russia.
Yeah, they were the first ones in. They were in there before the Russian soldier boots went in.
Okay.
Yeah, they were like conscripts, Chechen conscripts.
That's right. Chechens with them. It's the Georgians that he took a chunk out of Georgia, South Ossetia, a few years ago.
Yep.
Okay. So things are lining up, and certain countries are lining up with each other, and who knows?
I think World War III is the end of the world.
Yes, the interesting thing is that if Russia is Gog or Magog,
Yep.
then Gog or Magog comes out of the north and attacks Israel.
Yep.
Now, what's interesting in this whole thing is Israel is trying to be neutral. They're trying to be a go-between Ukraine
And Russia.
So it's really interesting.
And Zelensky's a Jew.
Yes, that's
no.
correct.
Yep, he is. He's Jewish.
Yes.
It's kind of funny how Putin's accusing the government of being Nazis when there's a Jewish guy running. But I guess Hitler was a Jew too, so.
Was he?
Yeah.
No shit.
Hitler's mother was Jewish. Yeah.
You're fucking with me.
No.
Mind blown.
That's why he wanted to kill everyone that, I think what he hated about himself. I don't know.
Right?
Because he was everything his perfect race wasn't, so.
Kind of was, huh?
Yep.
Shame. I think that they killed about, the Nazi regime killed about a third of the Jews living in the world that time.
Oh, that's so fucked.
It's, yeah. So, the only good thing I can think of this whole thing is that maybe it's going to help us to get out of this whole COVID time period.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're crawling out.
It's been a convenient distraction for sure.
Ejaculation of a nation.
Yeah, that's what.
It's almost nowhere in the news, but if there are biolabs and the Russians blow them up, then there's the next pandemic.
COVID-20.
That is what they say, that it took World War II to get us out of the Great Depression, so maybe it's going to take a third World War to get us out of this COVID time period.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably, yeah.
Holy
That's what happens.
I gotta get off the phone here.
No worries.
All right.
Godspeed.
God bless.
No. Okay, let's see if we got any more responses to our open lines here. Let's take a peek-a-deek. Peek-a-deek-a-deek-a-deek. Peek-a-deek. Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to go to our final thoughts here. I think we're at a crossroads. We can go the pro-human future and look for the diplomatic way out of this. Putin, we all understand that you want what's good for your country. But the world was at peace. I understand you feel threatened. And Zelensky, I know you want to fight for your people, but at what cost?
Right.
This is a losing battle. The Russians didn't even send their whole army to your border. There's 200,000 people. They're on record having a 3 million person army. They haven't even sent the whole 200,000 in yet. They've sent Chechen conscripts and Russian-backed separatists that were already in there.
Well, I'd have to say that most of Russia is an army. It's like a military country.
Yeah. And the fact that you didn't let certain citizens leave, males, leave the country, gave them guns. Yeah, some of them want to fight, but at what point? Russia didn't. I don't think their demands were that outrageous. They just want you to recognize Crimea, Donbass, and Luhansk as independent from you and as Russian territories. They just want you to lay down your arms and do that, and it's over. They'll go home.
A simple agenda, not complex.
I understand the concept of freedom, understand fighting for your people, but you know that you're all going to die if someone doesn't help you.
Oh, it's all unraveling as we speak.
You guys need to come to the table for the world's sake. Take the pro-human future, because what we're looking at is mutually assured destruction. Once NATO gets involved, that's it, folks. Putin's going to feel threatened. He's going to nuke a NATO country, and all the nukes are going off.
Oh, yeah.
We are
Fire in the sky.
We are a cunt hair away from that scenario.
Right? Holy shit.
I just want to be real with you people, and that's why I had to get away. That's why this segment is not live. We just had to get away into God's country, into nature. We're recording from an undisclosed location. We just need some peace of mind because we know the end could be near.
It's creeping up.
So we're at a crossroads. Mutually assured destruction, pro-human future. There's only one of those are going to happen.
Either the Star Trek future or the Terminator future. That's kind of what we're looking at.
I think we are 48 hours away from Russian bombing NATO convoys into Ukraine.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
shit.
Yeah, I mean, very, very hairy. So we will try to give you, I'll try to give you live updates on my shorts. I just had to step away from it all, guys. It's
palpitations.
It's affecting my health, my mental state. And, it's just, I'm trying to wake you people up, and you guys just aren't listening. You're just going day to day with your bullshit lies and your bullshit TV. And I can't sit here and just talk about it anymore.
Ejaculation of a nation.
I just can't. I'm gonna calm down now because, we're gonna try to stay positive here. Everything's in the good Lord's hands. Let's move on to some good news. We're going to begin filming our live documentary on the homeless crisis in America. We're still working on the title. But we'll be traveling Northern California and some of the coastal regions to see how the homeless crisis affected those areas. We'll be sampling. We'll be sampling food.
Oh yeah.
In different cities.
Yes.
And
Chinese food,
burger joints, and then we'll be talking about the situation live from a restaurant.
Yeah. And
being out on the field, up close and personal, giving you the scoop on the homeless crisis.
Almost smell the homeless now. It's like a potpourri.
So with that being said, we might start working on that as early as week after next.
Yeah. Huge endeavor.
We got to juggle our work schedules and stuff, so it's a work in progress, but we're hoping to come on next week for a live. We got a couple kinks to work out.
They're trying to shut us down.
In the studio, yeah. We may be moving to Rumble. Well, I don't know yet. More targeted audience there.
Right.
That might appreciate us better.
What we're saying.
Treat us a lot better. Also, when Truth Social, Trump's social media website, is downloadable for Google Play, which is coming soon. Right now, it's just for Apple. But if we can get our page onto Truth Social, we will. We will be coming there. Donald Trump's social media space.
Fuck yeah.
I also post all the episodes on Together.
Get her done.
I share them from YouTube, but we might be sharing from Rumble Together soon. So just letting you all know that. So we're hoping to go live next week. But after that episode, I think we'll be taking some time off to focus on the documentary project.
A few weeks.
Yeah, about 2 to 3 weeks. I'd say 2 to be conservative. 2 weeks for filming. Maybe
in the
3.
comments, if you want to be in the film, leave us comments.
Yeah, if you
let
wanna
us
be in the
know.
film, let us know.
In any way, shape, or form, if you want to contribute an interview, if you want to contribute some relevant music,
Yeah.
an opinion, something. If you want to be a part of this, Magma. We're gonna have Fatty Eddie in this project, probably doing some songs.
He'll be our guide,
Our tour
to
guide.
some of these areas.
Yes.
Not really tour guide, we're not really, but he knows the area.
The Concrete Safari. He's
No,
going
we're
to
not-
tell us what homes to
we're-
avoid. Deciphering.
We're not at a zoo. But yeah, he knows the area, and I'm sure he knows the safer spots. So
Where
we
we're
don't
not
put
going to get
ourselves-
stabbed.
Yeah,
Manuel Baca. Don't get stabbed.
but I do have security experience. Also have a couple security friends that possibly we might. I might be giving some work to for this project. So if you want to make $100 or $150 to follow us around for a couple hours,
We won't need a body.
I will be reaching out to you. You guys know who you are. And we'll go from there. But, yeah. Everything's shaping up nicely.
It's been a good show.
It has been a
The
good
best
show.
one so far. Very solid and forward moving.
So without further ado, we are 5 minutes from the doomsday clock. And we will be with you till the end. God bless.
God bless Miss America.